Boxing returns to the Masonic Temple in Detroit, Michigan this weekend, and on the line with us right now is the man that everyone's going to be paying to see. He is a Teflon Ronnie Austion. Ronnie, what's going on, man?
What's up?
Not too much, man. Hey, it was a busy 2014 for you. You had 6 fights in that year alone, and obviously you're going to be kicking things off the same way. I imagine you're looking to stay just as busy in 2015?
Yeah, I mean, we got 7. We actually got 7 in, so we might be a little more higher, but yeah, we're gonna try to get it the same way. We're trying to, stack and rack up all these fights and keep entertaining.
Now, I'm obviously liking the fact that these cards are becoming more and more frequent in Detroit. There was a time when people were wondering when live boxing was going to come back to Detroit, and now it seems like, at least once a month, but almost every other weekend there's something going on. Seems like the boxing community is really heating up in the Motor City again.
Of course, we have a great stable of Detroit fighters pretty much coming out the base of Crunk Gym. We got me, Tony Harrison, Dominique Dole, and we got Eric DeLeon and so many more. So to have those people headline a lot of those fights, it just keep them more frequent. You had Tony headline a fight, you have me headline a fight, Dominique Dole, and doing things out of town. So it's really bringing us back.
How close have you guys stayed throughout the years? Because all of you guys have kind of gone off and done things in different places and bigger places. Tony, you mentioned, he spent so much time in Europe. And then you have J. Leon Love, who is in Vegas now, and Dalton was living in Miami. You're all over the place in different camps as well. Do you guys manage to kind of stay in touch all the time and keep that brotherhood going?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I see J. Leon when I go to Vegas. I always see him. Matter of fact, I pretty much stay at his place. So I see him. I talk to him regularly every other week. Dominique, I see him. He's here, so I see him. I've been knowing him since I was, little, so we definitely keep in touch.
Tell me how, and obviously you brought up being in camp with J. Leon, and obviously that's at the Mayweather Boxing Club. But how did all those things come about? Because it seems that you've been in big camp after big camp. You were with Cotto, you were with Broner all the time. You're in Floyd's gym too. How did all those things get hooked up for you?
How you know about the Cotto camp?
I do my reading, man.
He dug up something. Okay, that was great. I haven't even heard that one. I pretty much was, I'll say I was blessed with being in the right place at the right time. I would say being with Emmanuel got me into the Cotto camp. That was a good experience. My father, he took me to box Adrian Broner, and I boxed Adrian Broner, and he seen pretty much I had enough skills, so he wanted me to come to his camp. So that's how I got into that camp. And J. Leon, knowing him since I was 13, he knew I had the skill to be in, Mayweather's camp and to join them and, work out with those guys. And,
I'll ask you specifically about what you learned in those camps, but it seems that just in general, that your profile took such a big jump when you started going to those places, because I think a lot of people started hearing about you when they saw that footage of you and Sean Porter or you sparring whoever. It seems like that's when your name really started getting out there in the boxing community, and not just with the people who had seen you in Detroit.
Yeah, most definitely. I want to thank Hustle Boss for doing that video for real, because that's definitely that video that kind of took surface and a lot of people recognized the talent that I had, and, the ability that I had, and it wasn't only in Detroit or only in certain spots. I got a worldwide thought on it. What I'm saying? People get to see everything. Everybody get to see it everywhere. That's YouTube. That's all over the world, so anybody can see it. I got calls from the UK and Norway, from Barry Robertson. It was crazy. So I definitely appreciate that. That definitely was a big step.
Well, take me back to that Cotto camp when you got kind of your first look at a big-time, big-name training camp, because obviously at that point you're still in the amateurs. Obviously you'd done plenty of traveling as an amateur, but you'd never really seen anything like that before. What was it like being in camp with a superstar for the first time and just being around that whole environment?
You know what? I think at that time, I think I was maybe 15. I probably been in the 10th grade. I kind of took it for granted. I didn't even know it was there. You know, like being around Cotto and seeing what he had. Like I look back and I say I kind of took it for granted, but now I see it. Like he had so much tricks in his in the bag that, you know, a lot of people didn't have. Like he did. He had a lot of skill and he showed it, and he had a lot of power and he showed it. And I don't know. I think I had fun at that camp. Just being a kid, being out of town, you know, with a superstar like Miguel Cotto and my friends Dominique and Jacob Joseph, etc.
Well, because that was probably, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but that was probably before you knew that you were going to have a big future in this either, because that was probably not too long after you were still lying to your parents saying you were going and doing gymnastics, but you were out there boxing. So you probably didn't know, you know, this was going to turn into something big either.
But it was like the best interview. No, you know what? I mean, I kind of knew that's what I wanted to do, but I didn't know it was gonna be this big, this quick. You know, I really feel blessed there, and you know, privileged to have like headline fights, and you know, to be around Adrian Broner and have camps with them, and you know, do things like that. So no, I really didn't see this.
You know, we've been talking about kind of, you know, that exposure that you've had because of the internet and whatnot, and people seeing your sparring, and obviously your personality has really driven things as well. And you've had a chance to spend a lot of time with AB now, and you know, Broner's kind of the first guy in boxing that has made himself a superstar because of his personality and because of what he's done online. What is he like in real life? You know, the time that you've spent around him, is he different from that persona that he puts out there, or is he kind of on all the time?
It's kind of like I'm gonna say that you have your moment. So he's kind of like that when the moments are there. But you know, if you're around him so much and you're around him for 4 or 5 weeks, it's days when he's not like that. It's days where he's quiet and to himself, and it's days where he's exactly like how he is on camera. But you know, it's kind of most of the time it's kind of 50-50. Sometimes he don't feel like really doing all that. He kind of be low key, or sometimes he want to be, you know, AB.
You know, because he seems to let everyone in. I mean, everyone sees his kind of his party life and whatnot, but his gym life, you know, his sparring and whatnot is kind of a mystery. I know there were rumors out there for a while that he likes to trash talk his sparring partners and whatnot. You've been in there with him. What is AB like when he's in the middle of training?
Have you ever seen like a football commentary?
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds just like that. Like he commentates his own fight. Like he'll talk to you, he'll say what he's gonna hit you with. You know, it's pretty much a mental breakdown to the people he's boxing, and it's smart. And I honestly took it for myself and done it on my own, and it throws people off. If you're talking to them and you're saying what you're gonna do, and you say what you know, it throws people off. Why, you know, you don't really see too many people talking when they spar. So it gets the competition heated. It gets the people you boxing mad. So it turns up.
Were there things technically in the ring that you've been able to take away from Broner and from Mayweather, guys that I think your style was fairly similar to already? Were there things, little things, technical things that you were able to take away from the time that you spent in the gym with those guys?
I would say it's more so the mind frame, and like the sparring sessions that they had, it was really, really deep, you know, and it helps your stamina so much. So I took a lot of stuff from their work ethic, especially Adrian. His work ethic is like amazing. Like I'm talking about on 100. Like people don't think he works. He doesn't. When I'm telling you, when I'm with him, he don't really party like that. You know, he does more gym work than he does party. So, you know, I take a lot of stuff from that. I mean, he sits and he talks to me sometimes about what to do when you're in the ring and, you know, certain things like that. So I take that and I, you know, store it. And his mental in the ring, his mental is really, really deeper than people really think. They give him credit for it. Like, he's really smart.
Well, let's talk about your fight on the weekend. You're going to be going up against Donald Ward. You know, another step up in your progression now. Have you had a chance to look at Ward at all on tape? Do you know what you're in for on the weekend? Is there anything you're expecting?
Yeah, it's pretty much expected. You know, you keep watching the same film and you pretty much determine what's going to go on, or you already know what's in your mind. That's what you're going to do. I've seen them fight stablemate Tony Harrison, so pretty much, I know what I'm going to do. I pretty much can care less what he's going to do.
What are your expectations for the fight then? Is this one you think you're going to get some rounds in, or is this going to be an early night for you?
We're trying to cut it short, but you know, we always try to cut it short. We got to come out looking good. But I don't know. I always let it come. I never rush anything. If it come, it come. If it don't, it don't. But that would be lovely.
Speaking of coming out looking good, you got to tell me how you linked up with Dej Loaf to walk you to the ring the other time. How did that all come about? And that was right before she really, like blew up and everything too.
Right before. That was right before. You know, she had this song. It was already out in the city. It was really popular in the city. And my dad was like, "Oh, I like this song." And I was like, "Oh, okay, it's straight." You know, and he kept saying, "No, this song gonna put it on. This song gonna put it on." And I'm okay. And my manager called me. He was like, "Yeah, who do you want?" And he named some, local rappers that's really hot in the city. And I'm like, nah, I want Dej. Because I seen the buzz it started to get with a lot of people who was in the city that was pretty big. And I knew for the fight, that would be super big, to bring her out. So that was definitely great.
So apparently your dad's a good judge of hip-hop talent, too.
I see, yeah.
You got any big intro plans for your upcoming fights? Anyone else going to walk you out? Anything you can share with us?
We got somebody who's a upcoming star. He might blow up real soon too. His name Pablo Skywalker, and I'm gonna come out with his song. So we're gonna have another one. See, you probably be calling me back like, hey, you had somebody else who blew right up after the fight.
That might be the pattern here. Yeah, definitely. I'd like that. Talk to me about your plans then moving forward, because I found it really interesting in listening to one of your interviews a couple months ago about how you already are thinking about your plans for after boxing as well. That you want to get into acting. That you have you have your artistic endeavors too, and that maybe you'll own a dentistry firm one day too. What are your goals after boxing once all this is over?
I would want to stay in touch with boxing as much as possible, but acting is something. Acting is it's like playing basketball. It's something it's something fun. Boxing is pretty much my life. So boxing, acting and drawing is something it's recreation. So I definitely would love to get into that, classes or do plays and all kind of stuff like that. It's always fun.
I did find it interesting that you said I love teeth, but then you chose a profession where you get punched in the mouth. It just didn't seem to jive for me.
Well, I don't get hit. I don't get hit, so you see, I love my teeth. I protect it.
All right, man. Well, hey, best of luck on the weekend. We wish you all the best for 2015, and I'm sure we'll get you back on here real soon, man.
Thank you for having me on.